Hey everyone, this is Diego and welcome back to FluentCast. Now, tell me something, have you ever heard the expression knock on wood right after sharing good news just to avoid bad luck? Maybe you've heard something like,
I haven't been sick this year, knock on wood.
It's funny, right? Most English speakers don't really think about why they say this expression. They just do it. But behind that simple little gesture, that light tap on a table or on a chair, there is a story that goes back thousands of years. Today we are going to explore where this expression comes from, why people around the world do similar things, and what this tells us about human psychology and belief. So let's begin, and you know what? Let's knock on wood that the microphone doesn't stop working halfway through this episode. Alright, let's go way back, long before English even existed. Ancient civilizations like the Celts, you heard this word from last week's episode? So, ancient civilizations like the Celts believed that trees were sacred. They weren't just plants, they were living spirits. People thought that trees could protect them, almost like wise guardians of nature. So, when something good happened, or when they needed help, people would touch the trunk of a tree to ask for protection, or to thank the spirits for good luck. That is where the first version of knocking on wood may have come from. And it wasn't just about luck, it was a ritual, a small action with a big meaning. You see, a ritual is something we do again and again for a special reason, sometimes to celebrate, sometimes to feel safe. And there is also another theory that came later during the Christian period in Europe. Some historians believe that touching wood symbolized touching the wood of the cross, a way of seeking divine protection. So, whether it came from trees or from Christianity faith, the idea was always the same. By touching wood, you would be connecting to something greater than yourself, something that could keep you safe from harm or from the evil. Now, here is a question for you. Do people in your country also have a saying or a small habit to avoid bad luck? Maybe you cross your fingers or carry something lucky with you. It's amazing how every culture has its own little rituals for comfort, isn't it? Fast forward to today, we might not believe that trees have spirits anymore, but knock on wood has survived. In English-speaking countries like the US, the UK or Canada, people still use it all the time. It has become a kind of gesture, a small movement that expresses a feeling or an idea. For example, someone might say, "My flight has never been delayed, knock on wood," or "Everything is going great with my project, knock on wood." Sometimes, people actually touch something made of wood, but often they just say the words. It's almost like a quick, friendly wink to the universe, a little message that says, "I hope I didn't jinx myself." And that is what makes language fascinating, how old beliefs survived in new forms. A tradition, after all, is something passed down from generation to generation. And even when we forget the reason behind it, the habit remains part of our shared cultural DNA. What is really cool about this topic is that it's not just an English thing. People all over the world have their own ways of protecting themselves from bad luck, like rituals that feel surprisingly familiar. In Turkey, for example, instead of touching wood, people touch iron to keep bad luck away. In Brazil, people say bater na madeira, which literally means to knock on wood. It's exactly the same expression, just in Portuguese. In Korea, people believe writing someone's name in red ink brings bad luck, so they avoid it completely. And one more example, in Italy, people touch their own body, usually their heads, to avoid the evil eye. Isn't it fascinating? Different cultures, different languages, but the same feeling. That small hope to protect ourselves from bad energy or from something we can't control. It reminds us that even though we come from different cultures, we share the same human emotions: fear, hope, and the need for a little comfort. Now, let's talk a bit about the why. Why do we believe in these things? Because if we think logically, knocking wood doesn't really stop bad luck, right? The answer comes from something psychologists study: our deep need for control. Life can be unpredictable. We don't always know what's going to happen, and that uncertainty can make us feel anxious. Superstitions, small beliefs or habits, give us a sense of comfort. Even if it's just an illusion, it helps us feel calmer. It's like telling ourselves, okay, I did my part, now things will go well. And maybe that's the secret. It's not about whether it's true, it's about how it makes us feel. There is a kind of quiet psychology behind it. We like to feel that our actions matter, and that by doing something, even something small, we can influence what happens next. In that sense, superstitions are not silly, they are deeply human. They show our desire to find patterns, to feel connected to something beyond chance. In English, we even have a word for when two things happen by accident but seems related, a coincidence. Sometimes coincidences feel magical, like when you think of someone and they suddenly call you. Moments like that remind us why superstitions survive. Because deep down, we want to believe that life has meaning. Okay, let's take a moment to notice some words I've used here naturally throughout this story. And this word would be great if they are part of your vocabulary. I used words like superstition, a belief that certain actions can bring good or bad luck. I also use the word luck. When something good happens by chance, we say it's luck. Belief, something that you accept as true. I also use the word unpredictable, something you can't foresee or control. And I use all these words connected, and if you see how these words all connect, they form a little map of human emotion: belief, fear, hope. So try to bring this to your vocabulary and it will help you to improve it. Alright guys, so next time you share some good news and say knock on wood, you will know what you are really doing is carrying an ancient tradition. One that started with people touching trees under the night sky, hoping for protection. You are part of a story that has traveled through languages, religions, and continents, and somehow survived modern life. So, here is a thought. Superstitions might not change our future, but they remind us that we truly care about it. They show that even in a logical world, there is still space for mystery, for emotion, and for meaning. Alright, I think that is a good place to stop our story for today. And thanks for listening to Fluentcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe. It really helps us reach more learners around the world. And if you would like to explore English in a more personal way with stories like this or real conversation practice, come join us at Fluent English Academy. I'm Diego, wishing you good luck, good energy, and maybe just a little bit of magic in every word you speak. See you next time in our next episode. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.